Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Great teachers in your pocket, excellent resources on the website. Learn Mandarin with Chinese Pod. Welcome back to Chinese Pod, coming to you from Shanghai, China. My name is Ken Carroll.
Hello, I'm Jenny. It's a great pleasure to be back.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Now, we bring you lessons in spoken Chinese, and today's lesson is an elementary lesson, which is our second level. Now, as ever, we take a top-down approach. That means, we'll let you listen to the content first, and then after that, we'll come down and piece it together for you. Now, I'd like to give our listeners a clue, Jenny. What are we talking about today?
We will be talking about vegetables.
Vegetables.
A topic dear to my heart.
Vegetables. Well, that's
Yes.
great. That's good to know. How do you say that topic dear to your heart in Chinese?
蔬菜蔬菜菜 yeah, first and fourth tones.
Good. First and fourth tones. So remember, for veggies, first and fourth. 蔬菜.
菜
All right. Now, I think that's enough. I don't think we should give away too many clues with this lesson. What do you think?
I agree with you. So shall we listen to it for
Okay.
3 times
Let's just
now?
listen to it.
First time. 你这里有蔬菜吗？
有，你要什么蔬菜？
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
好的，没问题。
Second time. 你这里有蔬菜吗？
有，你要什么蔬菜？
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
好的，没问题。
Third time. 你这里有蔬菜吗？
有，你要什么蔬菜？
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
好的，没问题。
Well, translation time.
你这里有蔬菜吗？
Do you have any vegetables?
你这里有蔬菜吗？
Do you have any vegetables?
你这里有蔬菜吗？有。你要什么蔬菜？
Yes, we have. Which vegetables do you want?
有。你要什么蔬菜？
Yes. Which ones do you want?
有。你要什么蔬菜？我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
I'd like to buy some cucumbers, potatoes, tomatoes, and onions.
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
I'd like to buy cucumbers, potatoes, tomatoes, and onions.
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。好的，没问题。
Okay, that's no problem.
好的，没问题。
Sure.
好的，没问题。
Well, now,
Grocery shopping, my
grocery
favorite
shopping.
pastime.
How exciting. Yeah. These, when you translate some of these sentences in English, they sound slightly unlikely. They
Yes.
are slightly unlikely in English. But as we say, we take it from a Chinese perspective. So in Chinese, they are very likely, in fact.
Yeah.
So let's look at some of the elements in this. Now, the first one is a phrase. You want to ask someone, presumably you're in a store.
Yeah.
Do you have any vegetables? So you say,
你这里有蔬菜吗?
now, 你这里, that's very common,
Yeah.
right? 或者 you could also say 你们这里, right?
Yes.
It's also common. So you say, you here.
Yeah.
It's to create context. Now, you
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
wa-
here implies or refers to say a shop
Yeah.
or
restaurant,
yeah,
if
some
you're in a
environment you're in.
Exactly.
Without that 这里, it would sound like, do you have
personally?
vegetables on your body or something?
Yeah. So, like, if you're in a restaurant and you want to know about, do you have this kind of food? You say 你们这里有,
Yeah.
and then you would ask that. And in the store as well. So this is, again, an example. Now, in English, you wouldn't go in and say, you here, do you have that? That would just sound quite strange. But in Chinese, of course, it's very
Common,
very
yeah.
common, right? So could we hear that sentence again, please, Jenny?
你这里有蔬菜吗?
Now, you can hear 蔬菜吗, meaning the question for vegetables. So, do you chaps here, do you fellows, do you people here have vegetables? Do you have any vegetables? And the answer is a very efficient
有.
yo. Because the question was 你有吗?
Yeah.
Do you have? And the answer came yo, as in yes, the verb to have.
Yeah, you just need that verb, that's
Yeah,
all.
yo, very efficient. And then, which vegetables are you looking for?
你要什么蔬菜? 你要什么蔬菜?
Now, yao meaning to want. 你要, so essentially, you want 什么蔬菜?
What vegetables?
Which vegetables do you want? And the answer is
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
good. Now, 我想买 meaning我想 as in third tone, correct?
Yes.
I would like, I'm thinking of what I would like is 我想买 the third tone again to
Yeah.
buy. Now, this is very common, again, whenever you're buying something, you want to address somebody in a store or something, you can tell them, I'd like to buy, and once again, that's
我想买
great. Now, let's look at the veggies in question here. The first one was
黄瓜。黄瓜
now,
strange name.
yeah, literally translated, it's
Yellow melon.
yellow melon.
Yeah, it's not quite either, right?
Yeah, which is a cucumber. Yeah. Well, we have eggplant as well in English, which is a pretty
Yeah.
strange name. So cucumbers in the mnemonic there, you think of a huge yellow melon transforming into a cucumber for some reason. So that's
Think of the honeydew, but it's actually cucumber.
indeed. So huang is the color yellow.
Yeah.
And gua, gua usually refers to a melon, but it can be used in
Different shape, but
Different shapes.
same compositions.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
seeds inside, and
Indeed.
the texture is quite similar.
Yeah, okay. So that's great. Really useful. Gua first time. Can you just briefly mention any other kind of gua?
Of course, my favorite is 西瓜,
Xigua, which is watermelon.
watermelons, and 冬瓜,
Donggua.
Winter.
Donggua. Yeah, sorry.
winter
melon.
melons. Yeah.
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
What are winter melons called in English?
They're not called winter melons.
I don't know.
And my favorite is my favorite name is 伊丽莎白瓜.
Oh my God, what is that?
That actually means a rock melon. I don't know why we call them Elizabeth melon.
Elizabeth melons.
Maybe because they're from the UK.
Elizabeth melons, the mind boggles. Let's move on, shall we? So
Yes.
the next vegetable was
土豆.
土豆. Now, this is a very interesting etymology too, because 土, third tone means
Yeah, soil.
the earth or the soil.
Yeah. And 豆 means beans.
Beans, some kind of beans, yeah.
Huge earth bean.
An earth bean is a 土豆, right? Great, very interesting. The next one was
Well, you have to take a minute to explain that 土豆,
土豆.
lest we confuse our listeners.
Okay.
Potatoes.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
should
we didn't
translate.
explain
Sorry,
that.
we
sorry.
didn't
Okay.
translate.
土豆.
土豆.
So earth bean is a potato.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's actually the same in French, isn't it? They call it a pomme de terre, meaning no, it's a little bit different. They call it an apple, an earth apple, in fact.
Ah.
And Dutch, an aardappel as well, they call it. So the French have earth apples and the Chinese have earth beans.
Bean, yeah.
So 土豆, right, excellent. Now the next one was
番茄.
番茄, meaning tomato.
Tomatoes. Yeah.
Anything
番茄.
interesting about those characters? No.
Well, not that I can explain, so I'm going to say no.
Just go with it. 番茄.
Yeah.
First tone, second tone, tomatoes. 番茄. It's a very common dish to have tomatoes, very simple dish, tomatoes with egg.
Eggs,
right?
yeah.
And
I'll
that's
tell you
called-
one thing. My French friend, he says my favorite Chinese dish is that tomatoes fried with eggs.
Yeah.
And I kept picturing in my mind potatoes fried with eggs. I always get them confused, the
yeah.
English terms.
Yeah, so that's very common. 番茄蛋, right?
番茄炒蛋.
番茄炒蛋.
炒 means to stir fry.
Yeah, so we have egg fried tomato, I think it's often called on the menu.
Yeah.
Very common, very simple dish.
Delish, though.
Yes, absolutely. And the last veggie was,
洋葱. 洋葱
and that is
and onion.
onion.
I can actually elaborate on
Please
this one.
do.
葱 means any kind of. We have the same word for chives or Chinese chives.
Yes,
Spring onions.
yes,
大葱 leeks.
yes.
So any vegetables that smell a little bit
Okay,
with that pungent smell.
Yes.
Yeah, they're 葱.
good.
And yang means foreign.
For overseas.
Yeah, overseas. So I think because Chinese onions are a sort of imported overseas breed.
Now that's interesting. So could we have those 4 veggies again, please?
黄瓜, 土豆, 番茄, 洋葱.
Well,
You can easily make a dish out of these 4.
you certainly could.
Fry them together.
You certainly could. And so whoever was working in the store said, sure, you can get all of that stuff. And the answer was,
好的，没问题.
all right. Now, I do think we could listen to that in its entirety one more time.
你这里有蔬菜吗？
有，你要什么蔬菜？
我想买黄瓜、土豆、番茄和洋葱。
好的，没问题。
All right. Good. Hope you learned a lot about veggies and vegetables. And
Yeah,
how
what a
to remember
wholesome
those.
lesson.
A very wholesome lesson, indeed. And we'll be back tomorrow with more wholesome lessons.
Yeah.
With lots of goodness. And but for now, Jenny, it really is time for us to go
Take care and-
maybe get some lunch.
Yes.
Maybe some 番茄
番茄炒蛋.
Maybe,
Oh, that'd
yeah.
be lovely.
All right. Well, we'll see you again tomorrow.
Okay,
Bye
bye.
everybody.
ChinesePod.com. Where do you do it? You know, it doesn't get any
更好。
than this. Mandarin on your terms. ChinesePod.com.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 0146. So just go to www.chinesepod.com/0146 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/0146.